read the memories of Jerry Lewis.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was sad reading him because he's telling that his feeling is he was underrated because he was just a comedian.
Yeah, he was a great comedian, though. I mean, you know, so was Buster Keaton. Buster Keaton was a comedian, so I don't think he ever felt underrated.
So I want to ask you about your relationship with comedy movies.
You know, I'm very lucky because my training was as an actor in repertory. That was my first job. My first professional job was 3 years with a repertory company. And we always did 6 different plays, and they ran at the same time. And I found that there was absolutely no difference between a successful comedy that involved the audience and a successful drama that involved the audience. In both times, they're either laughing or they're deadly silent, and both are accurate reactions to what you're doing up there. So I've never felt as though one was stronger or better or worse than the others. I've always been like as we say in America, do you have a Spanish word for smart ass? I've always been a smart ass. What would be the Spanish word for smart ass?
Well, a smart ass es un tipo listo.
Okay, there, I've been
espabilado,
that.
espabilado.
Okay, I've been that all my life, and I've acknowledged that. And sometimes that's helped me get jobs, but it has never been the be all and end all. I've also been lucky that even in my first television or movie things, there was always a desire to certainly be funny and get the laughs that were part of the movie. But they also had a more realistic relationship behavioral thing that was going on. So I don't see the difference between the two, provided they're good, provided they're real, provided that they make sense. And I wouldn't think Jerry Lewis was underrated at all. I think just the opposite. He achieved a stellar height that really does take, it takes a great artist in order to get there. And for much of his career, he was.
Sir Alec Guinness said that...
Wow, we're getting Jerry Lewis, Buster Keaton, Alec Guinness, bring them on.
He said that to be a great comedian, you need to be first a great actor. And he had a rough work to make understand producers that he was a good drama actor. How was your process in the 80s when you have to pass from comedies to drama?
Well, again, my training was such that I just approach it from a place of what is real and what is not. It's funny, when you're working with truly, what's the word? Let's just say funny. When you're working with funny writers and funny directors, they understand that the funny cannot just be silly. There actually has to be a logic to it. I mean, there's silly moments that can be it, but it has to come out of a recognizable human behavior. Otherwise, you're just doing, 5, 6, 7, 8 jokes, And I think in a lot of ways, some stand-up comedians have that problem because they have to get a laugh, and so therefore, sometimes incongruity or silliness will come into play. I've been lucky in that all the work that I've done, even the movies that were overtly comedies, there were some that worked because they were both funny and authentic, and the ones that didn't work were just trying to be funny and didn't bother being authentic. And I think that's the mistake.
Woody means a lot for a lot of people, young and adult.
Yeah.
What it means to you?
What I have gotten from Woody as a human being that is interpreted now since, 1991, is that he is both challenged by the natural change that comes to our lives, but he gives himself over to the result of what that change is going to bring to his life. I mean, in the first one, the great change was the arrival of Buzz Lightyear, which was a threat to his whole social structure. And in the second one, he found out where he came from, and he suddenly had a past that he didn't realize. In the third one, Andy went off to college, and he was no longer Andy's toy; he became Bonnie's toy, and it was not the same. It's not the same, power structure. It was not the same. He didn't have the same place there. And now, Toy Story 4 has probably the most profound change at all. And what Woody is able to do is to navigate that change to its righteous place. And in all of these movies, along with the change comes the end result for all the films, where it's sort of exactly what it had to be. And I think that's almost like an existential acceptance of, of what life brings to you. Woody is able to jump in the river and float to wherever it flows and get out on the other side. And so, well, that was interesting, but I'm in a better place than I was.
Si hay algo que sé, es que el trabajo de un juguete no termina nunca.
Mira arriba, chico espacial.
Si crees que puedes presentarte aquí y quitarnos el puesto de mejor premio, te equivocas.
¡Totalmente!
Ayudadme a salir de aquí.
Yo te ayudo, con mi pie, hasta el infinito y toma pie. ¡Pum! En el hiperespacio nadie te une a gritar.
¡Oye!
¡Suéltame!